Hello guys, welcome back. This is RandoGEEK. Alright guys, so we have an updated article here regarding the situation from AT&T and Verizon regarding the lead investigation. So we're going to read the article, link will be down for you in the description, and then we'll talk some more about it. Article is from Light Reading, the author is Mike Dono. Headline is captioned, Telco stocks collapse like leaden balloons. Right, the headlines last week were dire. AT&T, other telecom stocks sink after WSJ investigation on toxic lead cables. The publication reported AT&T falls to 29-year low amid concerns of cleanup costs. This is according to Bloomberg. Financial analysts fretted. Lead shedding will be a substantial long-term overhang on AT&T and the industry, wrote the financial analysts at JPMorgan in a note to investors on Friday. The firm downgraded its opinion of AT&T stock to neutral from overweight and cut $5 from its AT&T share price target. Apparently, JPMorgan wasn't alone. AT&T could incur possible future liabilities and financial risks from the industry's historical use of lead-sheathed cabling, which is reported by the financial analyst Citibank. Right? They also lowered their opinion on the provider stock and lowered their own price target to $16 per share. The sweaty summer weekend didn't seem to revive investor spirits. AT&T's share lost another 4.3% of their value in trading Monday. The operator's stock now sits below $14 per share, a low not seen since the early 1990s. Verizon stock suffered a similar decline Monday, as did stock of Frontier Communications and Lumen Technologies as well. So as you can see here, here's the graphs all the way back to 1990 into 2020 and forward. All right. And the bad news isn't slowing. Several environment groups call for the immediate removal of lead-covered telecom cables accessible to children, according to the Wall Street Journal, assessing the damage. The WSJ published a series of detailed, lengthy articles on aging telecommunication cables that may have hazardous amounts of lead. According to the publication, telecom companies left behind more than 2,000 potentially dangerous lead-covered cables underwater, in soil, and overhead. Many more are likely to exist. Some analysts appear to be at a loss as the extent of the problem. So, honestly, how big is this deal? The unsatisfying but honest answer is that at this point, we have nothing but unknowns to work with and no real way to quantify the company's exposures, wrote the financial analyst of MoffettNathanson in a report on Monday. It is difficult to quantify the situation at this time. While 2,000 cables sounds very manageable, we do not know the breadth of WSJ sample size. Meanwhile, the article notes that telcos have previously acknowledged some older metropolitan areas may still have over 50% lead cable, suggesting the amount of lead-encased cables could be enormous. If so, the cost could be in the tens of billions of dollars, wrote the financial analyst at TD Cowen in a Sunday report. But most agree that AT&T will bear the brunt of the fallout. AT&T undoubtedly has the greatest exposure to this potential issue, as long as its distance network dates back to the late 19th century, right? Verizon, Frontier, and Lumen likely have exposure as well, of an unclear amount, wrote the analyst at Wells Fargo's on Sunday. The fear, of course, is that addressing the lead cable issue could divert valuable capital and resources from projects like fiber to the home and tower upgrades. It will certainly be a topic of focus around Q2 earnings, but we also don't expect much clarity for some time. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to be something that's going to definitely hang over AT&T's head for a while. And the sad thing is, AT&T has not been doing good for a while. A lot of bad investments, a lot of wasted capital. The company's been suffering and struggling to figure out a way to remain relevant in a new world. You know, there's a lot of hot competition coming from T-Mobile and Verizon. And, you know, basically AT&T hasn't really been doing as many deployments on the wireless side because they can't afford it. And now we're looking at possible further delays. AT&T has been pretty much just focused on fiber because that's where their money is. we may see a slowdown with that now too. So basically, if they have to cough up as much money as in previous articles I had read, it could cost almost 60 million, if not more, for this cleanup. So if AT&T is on the hook for at least half of that, probably more than half, they already have a massive debt balance sheet. I think it's like 130 something million. Now you're going to be adding at least another 30 million. This is why the stock is tanking. Investors are just sweating. They're like, they're never going to be able to pay this off. If they can't afford to get out of debt, if they can't afford to do new deployments and build out the network, that means they can't get the service to new customers, which means they can't get new customers. Really, the only thing left to do is to reduce spending, which could be as far as letting more employees go, maybe taking down stores, so getting rid of staffing, getting rid of stores, and switching mostly to an online business. If you switch to an online business, there's no rent, there's no employees. Reducing customer service, so replacing them with automated chatbots. These are all things that they can do. It's not what we want to see, but this is basically what could happen for AT&T. They might have to turn into an online wireless company like Boost, pretty much. Does a lot of their sales online. So there's a couple of stores, but not many, right? And most of them are authorized dealers. So yeah, I mean, it's a complicated situation. It's disturbing. It's and it's funny, like something like this coming back to haunt them after all these years, and they're definitely going to be on the hook because, like I've said, they're the oldest wireless service. Okay, these cables were laid down so many years ago. Okay, they were forgotten, and now the current board is going to deal with mistakes from the previous generation's boards, and this is what happens. They don't do the proper cleaning up. There's overspending. So many things are overlooked. It's going to be a problem for them, without a doubt. Like I said, I really don't see them coming out of this debt anytime soon unless they basically switch to an online company. They're going to have to reduce spending even more than they already are. Okay? They can't. They're going to have to take down stores. They're going to have to let people go. They might have to make some adjustments to plans if they get rid of some staffing and stores. They might have a little capital to offer some better deals on the wireless side, which could potentially help them gain some new customers. I think what they also need to do is try to focus more on the business side of AT&T. Try to appeal to more businesses. This way they can get larger accounts. They can get more lines added, which would definitely help. It's something like Verizon does. That Verizon focuses heavily on businesses, and I think that's where to go. I mean, consumer lines are nice, but let's face it, you can get 4 lines or you can get 500 lines with businesses. Even small businesses, 50 people, per account. So they definitely need to focus more on the business side, attract more business customers, maybe try to get more mergers going on, partner up with some other companies, offer some more perks, maybe get a little bit more involved with the gig side of things, Uber, Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash. Try to reach out to those companies that are hot right now, see if you can offer some kind of perks to the consumer and business side. If you one of the things you can do on the business side of AT&T is see if you can offer some deals for like Grubhub or DoorDash, for lunches, maybe like offer like once a month, like a 10% coupon or something off of company lunches, just any little thing like that. I know it's not much, but to a business of a large scale, if they're saving 10 or 20% on lunches, even once a month, that can help the company save a lot of money, so whatever it is, obviously I don't work for these businesses. I can't tell them what to do. But I think they need to use the resources around them, look at where they are today, try to up the streaming services, maybe try to get some deals with Netflix, Hulu, whatever it is. They gotta do something to incentivize people to want to sign up to them, because everyone is looking for the best value today. Nobody wants to overpay for things. So we're going to definitely hear more about this. This is by far a developing story. Even as the article suggested, there's going to be a lot to talk about here. And, AT&T will definitely be on the hook for the majority of this. Verizon is no saint in this, so please be advised of that and aware that for all the Verizon fanboys, Verizon is just as guilty. It's just they haven't been around as long. Okay, so when AT&T started, these were the cables that were used. Okay, this is how the setup was done. So that's why AT&T is unfortunately going to take the bulk of this hit. And yes, they should have. They claim in other articles that they've done their own investigating and research, and they saw no potential issue. Obviously, they didn't want to take responsibility for it. They didn't want to clean it up. And, it looks like they might have tried to cut some corners. And, that's what happens. Unfortunately, a business of this size needs to take responsibility for what they did. They need to stop overspending and wasting money. Okay, it's the same thing for all these businesses. They need to just, take their responsibility and that's it. So we'll be hearing more about this. Interesting to see how this is going to play out for them. I think it's going to be rough, but like I said, there's going to have to be a lot of reduction, probably in staff, the way they operate. They're probably going to have to change the way they operate a little, which is disturbing, because this is not the kind of company that should be going through that. Turning into mainly an online company. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, be sure to like this video on your way out. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.